Welcome to North of the Broad. I'm Robin Zimmerman. As you know, we bring you our program from the Pat Conroy Literary Center, and this time we're in the family room with Jonathan Haupt. He's executive director. And we haven't been in this room for a while, and I actually love this room, so everything has to do with Pat's family.
That's right, and it's appropriate today because we're talking about the Pat Conroy Literary Festival, in which several of Pat's family members are
going to be there, and it's the 8th annual, and it's going to be the end of October, October 26th through the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's just dive right in. Why do you have this literary? What was the purpose of it, Jonathan?
An excellent question. Its tradition actually begins before there was a Pat Conroy Literary Center. We had a major festival for Pat as the Pat Conroy at 70 event for his 70th birthday. And Pat's birthday is October 26th, which is why our continuing festival always centers around that date. So Pat blessed the idea of the festival continuing while he was still alive to do that. So we knew there would always be an annual festival, and it's become the centerpiece of the Conroy Center's calendar as the center developed as well.
And this year is going to be jam-packed, so we're just going to go over some of the highlights.
It's a lot.
It's going to be USCB, Center for the Arts. Mm-hmm. So let's just jump right in. The leading ladies of Southern Fiction panel discussion.
That is super exciting for a lot of our readers locally because we know any number of people here in Beaufort who are big fans of Mary Alice Monroe, Mary Kay Andrews, and Dottie Frank, Dorothea Benton Frank, who our education room is named after. Dottie's daughter, Victoria, is now a published author as well, and we've been participating in the festival this year. And we're really lucky to have Carrie, Feron, a major New York editor, come down to sort of spearhead that panel and add a sort of overarching view on Southern fiction to that conversation.
Now, what day will that be?
That's on Friday, so that is the 27th.
All right. And you have Pat Conroy's wife, and then his brother, Tim, will be visiting.
Right.
So
we're conveniently located in front of a list of all of the Conroy siblings here on this quilt, which Pat's sister Kathy actually made as a 70th birthday present for Pat, so super appropriate. But there's Tim. Tim is a published poet. He has a second book of poetry coming out just before Pat's birthday, so this will be a sort of major unveiling of that book and a great opportunity for Tim. And as you mentioned, Pat's widow Cassandra is participating, as she does almost every year as well.
Okay, very good. And then you have Ron Rash, a New York Times bestselling.
Yes, Ron has been to see us a couple of times. He's a major fiction writer in the South. Both North Carolina and South Carolina claim him. He's got a brand new book called The Caretaker, and he'll be in conversation with Ellen Malfris, who's the writer-in-residence at USC Beaufort, also a dear friend to us here in the Conroy Center. And that too is on Friday. A lot of Southern writers on Friday. That's sort of the way we've structured that day.
And then the Lords of Discipline, the film, this actually the screenwriter will be here.
That's
and
right.
Will that be on Saturday?
That's, it's both Friday and Saturday. There's a screening of Lords of Discipline, which came out in 1983, the film version, that Friday night. And then Thomas Pope, the screenwriter, is going to be in conversation on Saturday morning with Ron Tucker, actually, from the Beaufort International Film Festival, which everybody in Beaufort knows, of course, Ron. Okay. So that's going to be a really interesting way to start Saturday. Yes.
And I said, wow, that he's still with us. And
still around, still writing. His wife is a really well-known poet, and she's participating in our workshop series and also in our poetry reading. So both of them will be here.
So talk about the workshops.
Yes. That's become a major part of the festival as well. And we do workshops year-round through the Conroy Center, so there's always workshops. But during the festival, there is really the equivalent of a writer's conference. So there's a series of 5 workshops. You can sign up for any of them or all of them. And this year they cover poetry, memoir, dialogue, pitching to publishers. Yes. And what is the other one? Revision, which is important, sort of the rewriting process.
The rewriting process. Yes. Very good. And they'll all be at USCB.
The workshops will be here in our Conroy Center. Good. The author programs are at USC Beaufort, so that's sort of the way that we divide up what goes where.
Okay, perfect. And then you go on the website and you can register. You have to register for everything.
You can. There are some free events, some ticketed events, very modestly priced ticketed events, I'll add. But yes, you can sign up in advance. Anything that is not sold out, people can show up the day of and still get into. I want to make that very clear. And then local high school and college students can come to any author event entirely for free at USC Beaufort. They just need an ID with them.
So you expect this one to be bigger, better than all the other 7?
That's been the trajectory year after year. Even during the pandemic year, there was a huge response to the virtual version of the festival. And it was so lovely to be back in person again and at USCB. So yes, I think we'll have a huge, huge turnout this year.
Again, the 8th annual Pat
That's
Conroy
right.
Literary Festival. Thank you, Jonathan, for being with us on this edition of North of the Broad, and we'll be right back.